Hey guys, Jose here with Jay's Mobile Auto Glass. Real quick, before this video starts, you're going to hear two introductions of myself, sorry about that. But as always, make sure you guys give a few minutes of playtime before you guys jump into the job, especially when it comes to taking apart some of the circuitry there in the rearview mirror area where the lane departure and forward collision camera is. Just give it a few minutes. Not very difficult, but still just wait in case, because throughout the video, sometimes I forget. It takes me a minute to remember what comes off and what goes back on. Our GoPro did die on us. We did have an extra battery. The audio for some reason sounds a little bit lower and softer, so hopefully it doesn't affect the quality too much. Also, at the end, I don't show myself putting back the cowl just because I didn't see it was as important as the rest of the video. This video should help a lot of you guys. If you guys haven't done a Tesla, at least get the idea. Not a very complicated job, but still treat it with caution, guys, and just make sure you don't lose anything. Last thing, please make sure you guys join the Discord community. If you have a Discord, it'd be awesome to have a lot more of a community with members in the auto glass industry who can help each other out, and also just talk about what's going on in the industry as well. Again, make sure you guys like, share, and follow or subscribe, sorry, to the YouTube channel so we can keep helping people out there, and hopefully this does help you guys, and hopefully we can upload some more videos as well. Thank you. What's going on, guys? It's Jose with Jay's Mobile Auto Glass. Today we're going to have a little treat for you. We're going to be doing a windshield replacement on the Tesla. I know it's been a minute since we've done a windshield. Usually we've been doing a lot more door glasses, but today we're going to be doing a windshield replacement to show you guys how to remove the camera and the cover. When it comes to the cowl and wipers, it's pretty straightforward, to be honest. So really, realistically, you should be fine. There's two ways about this portion. Before we get started though, always make sure you guys got the right glass and make sure there's no scuffs or scratches on the glass. The cable, when you guys order this glass, will be taped from the inside. You can see the tape residue in this area right here. So before you guys get started and prime the glass and everything, you're gonna want to just kind of tape it to the outside, because it does connect from the outside, which we are gonna take the cowl off anyways. That being said, this glass is from PGW. We're installing a domestic 2574. You want to inspect your 3 cables and make sure they're not torn in any way on the connector, because this is a heated windshield. These cables do not really go toward this portion of the glass, so you should be fine there. I could actually be wrong, but I don't think, actually I could actually be wrong. These cables could go here and heat this portion up. I don't see a connector here for a different sort. So, but anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna go ahead and start. I already inspected my glass. We're gonna get it prepped up. Same thing, you're gonna use primer. Nothing special about priming this glass. The prime on the top is a little bit different. The corners are kind of more sunken in, so you're gonna have to once you cut out the glass, it's better to prime it after you cut out the glass so you can get a better prime area where you want to set that primer to. I believe these on this windshield also, if you guys can see this little box right here, this is where a cable sits. I will show you guys how to remove this cable and how to set it for the new one, okay? It's held on by double-sided tape, so if you have double-sided tape, good. If not, you can use a little bit of urethane on it as well. So I'm gonna show you guys how to remove it, because it is double-sided tape onto the passenger top underneath the headliner. You don't want to stress the headliner, so I'll show you guys the best way to do this, how we cut it out too as well. All right, let's get started. Right off the bat, we're not working out of our van, we're actually working out of my personal truck. That being said, one of the best kits you're gonna need, guys, is if you're familiar with iPhone screwdrivers and sets and all that, you're gonna a set of those will really help you out with this. They use really small Phillips screws, and you're gonna need to remove those screws. Also torque 15, I believe, or torque 10, I'm not sure, but this kit will help us all. This is actually my cousin's kit. He does screen replacements on iPhone, so this will help us. I'm not sure which screw, which Phillips I'm gonna need, but once we get to that portion, we'll show you. This is pretty cool, it's Velcro. I actually like that. Makes it a little bit easier to take the set. I'm gonna go ahead and take one of the screw sets. I'm gonna take torque 15 Phillips, and we're also gonna need a fiber tool to show you guys how to remove the cover. The cover is a very stiff cover. Right off the back, before you guys get started, make sure your customer takes the key away from here, you don't want to mess with anything as well. If you're not familiar with Teslas, you can always look up YouTube videos on how to operate stuff. For example, how to open the hood from here, how to turn off the air. If you hear it blowing air on you, click on the temperature here, you'll be fine there. If the screen's on, don't worry about it. It doesn't waste that much battery on it, so other than that, you'll be fine. Okay, so now we're gonna jump right into the rearview mirror cover and go from there. Fiber tool, if you're gonna use a metal tool, just be cautious because you can scratch this and you don't want to scratch this. As you can see, fiber tool doesn't really scratch it. And if you're watching this because you're a Tesla owner and you're gonna see how it works, well, hope you guys enjoy the show as well. You're gonna literally just pop this down. You got one down. It has 4 clips, it has 2 clips, 4 clips. So you'll see what I mean in a second. You're gonna wanna just pop it down. There's 2. Another reason why we haven't done YouTube videos on windshields is because most of the time the process is pretty straightforward. You cut them out, cool man, nothing really too different about all that. So another reason why I haven't really been up on replacing windshields with you guys. Again, we left a little bit of residue from the blue. Now there is a cover here you're gonna have to separate, but this is the part I always seem to forget how to take off. Now the best way to take this cover off, if I remember correctly, is this little piece actually just comes straight down. So I'm gonna try and go from here and go straight down. Again, guys, watch before you guys get started on anything, just to make sure we're not doing anything too funky. We don't do Teslas all the time, but when we do, it's better to try to remember how it goes. There we go. So it's actually gonna dangle on there, but I will show you guys exactly what I did. So if you guys look at the back, typically I just pulled from the side and went down. It has 2 grabs up here where it kind of locks into it and then pushes into it. In my opinion, if you can get something to dig in here from the back, it'd probably be a little bit better, but you do run the risk of causing a little hole or indentation with something metal. So I think realistically, if you could just get this to kind of like pop off here, and then you can get a little bit of leverage, it just comes right off. So now that we have that off, we can just pop this. Now if you're stuck and you're like, wait, are there 2 more clips? No, this plastic actually, it kind of locks into the windshield. So what you're gonna do is kind of like, oh, actually we're gonna remove the rearview mirror real quick. This is a rearview mirror twist on style. You should be able to do it by hand. Let's try it by hand first. And there we go. And now we're gonna leave it dangling. If you want to disconnect it, wouldn't hurt either. Actually, I'm gonna disconnect it. Seeing how we have this big screen here, I would feel a bit more safe disconnecting it. Don't worry about resetting anything. So we're gonna do is disconnect it. There we go. Now we disconnected the rearview mirror. Let's set this somewhere safe. Set in the back seat. Again, don't put the glass portion down. You don't want to scratch that down. Now that we have that down, we're gonna kind of rig this way up. There we go. As you guys can tell, there is the little lip that kind of locks up into the headliner right there. So that is the lip that kind of locks into the headliner. Is there anything connected here? There is. Do we need to remove this? Realistically, no. You can leave this dangling. It's plastic. Unless you really bashed it, you could have hurt the screen, but I'm gonna leave it dangling. Now this is the part where it gets fun. We have to remove all this crap onto the from the windshield, so that way we can start to cut out. This process is actually not that hard, so let's just do step by step and show you guys. First thing you're gonna do is remove the silver cover where the rearview mirror sits on. Again, it's a hexagon. Well, I guess it's a hexagon, I don't know. Let's go ahead and remove this. It looks like torque 15 might be a little bit too big, and it is a little bit too big. Let's go ahead and see if we can get like a torque 10. I think it might be like a torque 10, maybe 5. We're gonna be using this kit as well. We got torque. Here's a, let's grab this. Let's see if a T5 seems a little bit too small, to be honest. So let's try and do a, I gotta make sure we're recording. Yep, we're still recording, okay. Let's try, I think maybe a T10 will actually work. Yeah, it is a torque 10. For some reason I had forgotten. Magnetic bits will also help. So let's go ahead and remove one. It's a total of 4 here, guys, okay? And make sure you're watching where these screws fall, if by chance they fall. These, again, magnetic sets work really well. This isn't the strongest magnetic, but it still does a good job. I'm actually gonna set these on my floorboard here, and as in a little group. I don't know if this has 4 or 2. I think it should be 4. We'll find out in a second. There's 2. I think I do a Tesla maybe once every 2 or 3 months. I think maybe once every 3 months I do a Tesla. Again, I think this is the only model you can get the windshield for. I don't think you can get the windshield for any of the other models. All right, remove that. Now that we have that loose, oh, here's the other 2. 2 in the middle, right here. 2 right here in the middle. So once we remove that. And for those who are wondering who taught me how to do this one, this was actually just more of a kind of a play it out and see what all is in my way, and then go from there. And every time I do this job, I always forget where these 2 middle ones go. Okay. So again, we have our 4 for the middle bracket there. Now this bracket should come out, should pop down. And if not, we still gotta remove something else. Oh yeah, okay, so we're still stuck on there. I believe we have to remove this portion here. If this is bothering you a lot, you could remove it, but again, I'm not really seeing, or you could also tape it up if you want, but I'm gonna keep just playing around it. The less I disconnect, the better in my opinion. So right now, all you're gonna be using is just your Torx 10. This is gonna come down as well. There's 1. And here's number 2. I'm putting my back of my hand against it, guys, so it doesn't fall in case, just to make sure it's holding itself in place. Oh, never mind, that fell. All right, we're gonna put a total of 6 Torx 10s right here, silvers. We're gonna group them up. Now this fell, this little thing here fell. So for those who are wondering where it went, how it went, this portion locks in here. It will lock right there, guys. If you guys can see, it'll go right there. But I believe this portion goes first. This one will go first, right there. This portion will go first. And then this sits right over it, guys. So this is how it sits before you remove all the 6 screws. So once you remove these 2 screws, you get that. So realistically, you want to remove this portion first, which would be these 2 Torx, and then this should just fall down, and then next to this will fall down. We actually went ahead and went a step forward. We're gonna set this portion right here. We're gonna put it face up. We don't want any dirt here, or the camera could register that as something awkward. So we're gonna set it up here. Actually, I'm gonna set it somewhere a little bit cleaner. There's a little bit, but the back seat's a little bit cleaner. Okay, that being said, now we are almost done there. Now these wires right here are being held in by this bracket right here. We have to remove this Torx. I think this is also a Torx 10. That Torx 10 little plastic cover. So it gives us access. Again, we're barely still with the bracket and everything. I will be stopping every so often to make sure I'm recording. I do have 2 batteries with me today. We should have no issues. I'm gonna rest my hand against the camera just in case. I don't want it to fall on that display screen. I'm sure Elon Musk must make a good little bit off that. Okay, now we have that. Now we have a total of what? 3, 5, 7. So 7 silver screws. Okay, now we have more play within the wires up there, guys, okay? Now, are we gonna disconnect anything else from here? The only one we're gonna disconnect is this little circuit board right here. This little board here. This is the only one we're gonna disconnect, and it should come right off. Now, we have another Torx 10 right here. I thought, actually, there's a lot more Torx 10s than I remember. Oh, sorry, wrong tool. All right, Torx 10. This is the last circuit board here with Torx 10. I'm pushing against the screw, and once you get that little jump, that means that you're de-threaded all the way. There you go, that little jump that tells you that the screw is loose. You should be able just to pop that off. There we go. Again, I apologize if you guys aren't getting the best view, but kind of kind of recording this can be kind of difficult. This circuit board kind of locks into it. First, the sides locks into it. I'll show you guys as well. It goes in there, and then it locks back into place there, and then it bolts it in. It pretty much tells you where it sits, as you guys can tell. There you go. So if you guys can see, it bolts it, it kind of slides into it. The headliner does come into play on this, because it does feel like the headliner is really in play on this. So there you go. So it sits on top of that. It sits on top of this, does not sit underneath there. Sometimes people get confused and try to slide in there, and then they'll break the circuit board, and then you're kind of SOL. All right, now comes one of the hardest parts that took me a minute to learn was, what is this? And how do I remove it? There are very tiny screws in here, guys, very tiny, that you're gonna have to remove. Again, this is the portion where you'll need that iPhone screw tip, or screw bit. So we're still on torque. We're gonna go ahead and set the torque back. So here we go. There's that. We're gonna set that boy right there. Now what we're gonna do is look here to see which Phillips we should use. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 00. I had a kit I had bought in, but I think my cousin or someone might have grabbed it. So this torque 0 won't work. The 00 won't work. Let's try 000 because there's two 000s. Let's try this 000. Yep, and it is 000. So you're gonna need to use 000 for this one, guys. Now comes the very stressful moment that you guys gotta pay attention to this portion, okay? There are 3 screws here. There's one, I think 3. Remove them gently. And do not lose them. If you're using a magnet, there's that little bounce that tells you you're done. We're gonna slowly, we're gonna slowly remove it. All right. And here's one of them, guys. Make sure I don't lose it. These are very tiny screws, guys. Very tiny screws. So what are we gonna do with it? I'm gonna find a little spot for these in a second. Try not to lose it. I'm actually gonna put it there just for a second right next to those guys. All right, no one's allowed in my car when I'm working on it right now. All right, there's one. We gotta find the rest of them. There's one, here's 2. One toward the edge. Again, wait for that little jump that tells you like there it is, that little D-thread jump. I like to play it safe like that. There we go. And if you drop one, guys, it's not the end of the world, but just go to your local parts store, iPhone store, and look to see if anyone has one. I believe there's one more around here somewhere. I just gotta make sure. I don't know, I don't want to break the circuit board. If I do, I'm not uploading this video. Just kidding. Now, here comes the portion. I believe, if I remember correctly, I have to wiggle this out. There we go. It is coming out, but it does feel a little stiff. It almost feels like there's one more. I just can't see at the moment. This little, hold up, let me see. I remember there was 3 of them. Sorry. So let's see. No, it looks like there's only 2, and then it just wiggles out. So then we're just gonna wiggle it out. Yep, and there was actually a little bit of double-sided tape, of foam, that was causing me to overthink it. This is the last circuit board, so then you only have 2 screws holding it in, and an alignment pin, guys. If you see me touch my cameras, because I'm trying to tell you guys how it goes in there. So you have 2 alignment, 1 alignment, two screws toward the end of it. We're gonna set this guy somewhere safe again. Set it back here. Now you are theoretically ready to cut this windshield out, guys. You are good to go to cut it out, except the cable that's back here, and I will show you guys how to deal with that. This might seem a little overkill, but we're gonna use the our express blade. This is like the miniature Milwaukee. I'll be doing a review on this, guys, but whether you should get it or not, compared to like the heavy duty ones, the one that uses the bigger, I think the M18 battery, you're not gonna need to turn it on, so I'm not gonna put the battery in there. The reason I'm doing this is just to get loose back there. Hold up, give me a second, guys. I gotta find it. Oh, this one's a lot closer, so nice. So what we're gonna do I'm going to go from the outside here. You're going to want to go. All right. You're going to want to go until you break it from that double-sided tape or foam. There we go. Don't worry about going all the way through, just because there is urethane here that will use you as a guide. I highly doubt you'll be able to stab it through the urethane. If you do, you're a very strong person, and throw me your application, because I'd be very impressed. There it is. There it is. All right, I'm gonna take a look to see if I make sure I'm all the way loose. I believe a little bit of it does curve to the other side. You want to be very careful with the headliner. But let's go ahead and see. We are loose, see? So we are good to go, guys, there. Now we can use either the string method or the cold knife method. I am gonna cold knife the sides here. I will most likely easy wire, if you guys know what that is. You guys know what that is. I'm gonna probably use the string method on the top, cold knife, and the express tool at the bottom. Get a little bit of a cleaner cut toward the bottom. But I am gonna cold knife the sides. Let's go ahead and open up this hood. Should already be good to go. When it comes to the removing the cowl, because you do have to remove the cowl to get to the heated wiper connector, which I think it's on the passenger side. I believe, yeah, it's on the passenger side. First thing you're gonna do is remove this portion. Remove this plastic. All right, we're gonna set this somewhere safe. I'm gonna set it right here. So you don't need to take off this whole plastic trim, guys. If you want to, feel free, but the less you take off, the better, in my opinion. Will we be removing this? I don't think I have to remove it. I might, I don't know yet. I might actually remove it. I'm just trying to remember, guys. Again, I'll sometimes forget what we have to remove. Remove the wiper caps. I'm gonna put everything in there. This should be a 15 millimeter. Remove the wiper blades, wiper nuts, sorry. I always put my finger just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. They are 15 millimeter. Same thing. Hold on. Put those two there. We're gonna remove them. So what you're gonna want to do, this is where it got hit. We're gonna push on the joint a little bit, then pull on the joint, and there we go. And now we got loose. There we go. Do be cautious with the wiper hose. Always carry extra connectors and stuff like that just in case something happened. It's not the end of the world. We push it and we pull it. We're good to go there. Since the whole cowl is going to come off with this, I'm not going to stress too much about pulling them completely off. Again, just be cautious not to scratch the plastic trim. We're going to remove these pieces real quick and then go from there. All right, seems like I forgot my favorite pig's foot, but it's fine. As long as I got 8 pig's foot, I'll be fine. So this pops off pretty easy. These little clips shouldn't come off. There's one. Same thing as that. Use the plastic itself as leverage. It'll be fine. They're not in there too tight. We can set this bad boy right there. Now we got that. This is just a little, I guess, almost like a gutter in the way to make sure nothing falls in there. It has 2, which stuff can still fall in there, but I don't know. Let me make sure I'm recording. And we are still recording. All right, that being said, we are gonna have to pull this up a little bit to get to these corners. There are 2 clips that are really hard to get to release the cowl. It is a zipper cowl. So let's go ahead and do this portion of it. So this is gonna pop straight up. I'm gonna set this here so you guys see that I don't use the pig's foot. I'm just using my own hands. So we're gonna look in here and see what's going on. So we got a little bit of tough right there. So what you guys can do is just literally lift this portion up and you will have 1 screw hidden right all the way in here. If you can pop that clip with something, you'll be fine. So let's see if we can find a little bit of a long poker. Maybe this will do its trick. So we're gonna go in here, get in here, twist it. This is what I use. I kind of poke the side. I love those type of clips. They're so easy. Now, if you listen very carefully, the Tesla will still be on, but you should theoretically be fine. All right, there's one little clip. There's one, same thing on this side. If this is bugging you, you can probably pop it off, but again, it does not bug me. Now, this car does run a normal battery in it as well, even though it is full, what is it, lithium or whatever it is. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with this, how this all works. It still almost operates as similar to a vehicle. Same thing for this clip. I can find this one. Now this one's a little bit harder. This one's a lot more in there. So you're gonna have to kind of get it at a different angle. You're gonna have to kind of get it at a different angle if I can find it again. This one you're gonna want a little bit of a hook tool. Hope I brought some. This might work. That's why a lot of times removing this whole piece does make it a little bit easier. But if it doesn't, it's no big deal. Having the right tools too saves time, just like anything else in life. And there we go, I got that clip. Now I should be able to just pop this up. There we go. Make sure that clip doesn't fly off anywhere. Should be able to put your hand in there if you leverage it enough. And there it is. Again, that one's very deep. That one's more toward like right here. A little bit hard to get. Use a little more of an angled pig's foot. Now to remove the whole zipper cowl, very easy. None of this will really get in the way anymore. We were able to unclip it from that side. Let's see what's holding it in case you guys want a little more leverage. If we look, it's just locked in there. So pulling it up, straight up should probably give you more leverage if you do want to pull it up. So just do be gentle. Again, this is plastic, but that one came up, giving us more leverage. You can also remove this little lip right here, rubber lip. But again, the less I take off, the less I have to put on once we start putting it back together. So it does save time. I usually quote people out about 3 hours of labor on this, but just because it does, I like to be on and off with it and take my time. All right, now what you guys saw was I stuck my finger toward this corner, kind of just pulled it upwards, kind of just ran my hand. Ow, my finger got stuck. All right, I wear gloves on the interior of this one just because you deal with a lot of the headliner and all that, and you do not want to leave stains, fingerprints or anything. So then what we're gonna do is just go. If it's fighting you, you can run a pig's foot in there, which sometimes I will do, just to make sure. There it is, and there it is, and now we are theoretically out. Actually, I think it has 2 clips. And I think it actually does have 2 clips that holds it in place. I will double check in a second, but we are pretty stiff in here. Let's double check. Make sure we're not forgetting a clip. Oh, make sure if you guys accidentally disconnect a washer fluid hose, you guys pay attention to it. I'm gonna go ahead and, well, actually, I'll go ahead and remove them from here just to be safe on it. There we go. We went ahead and disconnected both of those. It's pretty straightforward. The right one goes on the right one, left one goes on the left one, so. All right. Now, there is a clip I'm seeing here, but I'm not sure if that clip's really gonna bug me when it comes to pulling off the cowl. Again, we do have to get to the cowl to there we go. There was another, oh, there's clips down there holding it in place, so. Okay. I'm gonna remove these gloves, I say clips, for a second there. And now, so we can see where the wire's connected to. And the wire's on this side. The connector's running on this side. So what I'm gonna do is actually go ahead and take off those 2 clips. So we are gonna remove both clips. So this one's pretty easy as well. There's one. So in total, you're gonna remove 4 clips, just to make sure you're good on that. So again, before you start pulling, I knew this corner piece was gonna have to come off, but I was trying to avoid a lot of this, avoid a lot of that. This portion too, clip. Set that there. Again, I'll be alarmed if the car's doing anything freaky again. All right, again, these clips are my favorite. You just kind of, as soon as you push on the side right here, kind of push something in there, should just release itself, and there you go. They're pretty straightforward. Again, that's why I use a poker. But this one's dull, broken at the tip, but still does, still works. We're gonna remove these side pieces. The reason why we're locked in there should be a clip. Yep, there's a little clip right here that's holding on to it. I'm gonna try my best to make sure I don't. If you guys can see, it's plastic. I'm gonna see if I can actually use this pig's foot. That's why I like my other pig's foot. Be very careful in this portion. You are next to the fender. If you guys don't trust yourself, just use a plastic tool. There we go. So as soon as you push one edge of this, you should be fine. Now what we're gonna do is, should there be another one back here? And there is. And it did the same thing. All I did was leverage it a little bit toward one piece to close it a little bit, and I was able to slide it right off. There we go. Same thing on this side. Again, guys, don't be intimidated just because it's a Tesla. They're actually not that bad. The windshield, again, is a DW, which means it's considered a domestic windshield, which is considered American. So we're gonna do the same thing. Leverage down there, push up. We got that one. Same thing from the bottom. The bottom one just came right off. Nice. All right, this whole cowl should pop right off. Again, be gentle with it. Treat it gently. It's plastic, so it does give you some play room on it. Again, you have this disconnected, so you should be fine. All right, there we go. We're gonna leverage that there gently. Boom, there we go. We got the whole cowl off. I'm gonna set the cowl here. Actually, no, I'm gonna set the cowl. I'm gonna have to set the cowl inside their garage for a second, and just be gentle with the wiper blades so they don't get scuffed. The wiper arms and blades, so they stay intact there. All right, we have the whole cowl off. Cool. We have access for the connector right here, which is where we're gonna have to disconnect the this portion to put in the new connector. So I'll show you guys. You guys can pig's foot it off right there. I think it's a Christmas tree style connector, maybe? No? Okay. Well, let's see. If we push these two, there we go. So this windshield right here, this connector right here is just a push. Push it together, pinch it, and it should pop right off. We're gonna see if this tape will stick. It's the tape, I guess, from the factory. I highly doubt this person has had their windshield replaced. All right, we're gonna close the hood. We are now ready to cut this whole windshield out. We're a little tight here, but I should be fine with a cold knife there. Cold knife isn't as thick, which means, and over here, we're actually a little bit tighter. The bad thing I will say about the Saint Gobain glass style, I might actually end up easy wiring the whole thing, just because Saint Gobain, I have really bad luck with it popping on the side. So I might just express tool all the way up to here, all the way to the corners, and just start easy wiring it there. But I'll be right back, guys, while I set that all up and go from there. All right, guys, I'm back. We're gonna start with the express tooling the bottom real quick. I am actually out of I forgot to bring my water spray, but a bottle of water with a hole at the tip. Don't go crazy on the water, guys. Again, this is an electrical vehicle. water and electricity doesn't very mix, as many of you know, but you do want to lubricate it. You can use glass cleaners. The only reason I don't like glass cleaners is because I feel like it stains the dash for a period of time, and I feel like water does not do that. So we're gonna just do a little bit of water there, just a little bit. All right, now that we have that, we're gonna start the express tool. We're gonna use our Milwaukee. It's fully charged. Before I came, I made sure. Now we're just gonna go from there. You should be able to feel when you're out, guys. So now I'm gonna try and get a little bit up on the corners here. So, and again, you wanna be cautious when you go up. Luckily, that little underlay molding does help protect, so it does let you know, but still, be courteous and be cautious. There we go. There we go. So we got a little bit past, nicked it a little bit there toward it, but we'll prime it and we'll be fine. Again, this is the portion where that plastic will cover it. Sorry, that gets hard. You typically want to cut a little bit past the corners if you're going to finish it off with the string method, just because you do not, those corners can be really tricky and you don't want your string or method or whatever to go from there. Now you want to be very cautious. I did hit the vent plate there, but it did let me know. It will dull your blade, so be very careful. My blade is actually very dull. Make sure you keep this blade, if you have an express tool, keep it sharp. Again, Milwaukee, if you're watching this, these things break. These little plastic tabs break and you're left with nothing holding on your battery, which is why the M18 works a little bit better. We might need a little bit of water there, that's why it's smoking. It does get hot, and if you smell your burnt urethane, that means you need to put a little bit more water up in there. And it does not have any water. There we go, just a little bit. Again, this bottle was only filled up to right there, so it's not even that much water we've used. We're gonna get the blade nice and wet. Big difference. There we go, we got past that corner. All right, we got past that corner. Hope you guys enjoyed that show there. Ben still looks nice and pretty. Again, guys, now I'm gonna switch over to the string method. Again, everyone has a different string machine. All right, guys, I am back. As you guys can see, we have the windshield out, and we're about to start the next step, which is prepping. I'm actually cleaning my hands right now because I'm about to clean the headliner as well. I had to get back in here to make sure I was in between the, this is the portion I was warning you guys about. You want to make sure that you pretty much pop this double-sided tape off of the glass. This portion is on the glass, and that's why we use the Express 2 to get really in there. Another little side note to do, if you are thinking about cold knifing this, the urethane does go really deep in this corner, and if you guys look, this is where the edge of the glass was right here. So a cold knife would have to be at least this long, about that long to really get in there. So I mean, you could cold knife, but you still have to, you'd still have these two corners. String method would be the only way to release these two corners, unless you wanted to use an express tube, but then you run the risk of popping. This is another laminated, no, I think this is a tempered piece of glass right here. No, it's laminated, sorry, it's laminated. So you run the risk, again, the weakest part of a laminated glass would be the edge of it. So even a little bit of a nick, you got a nice little crack you have to deal with and replace for your customer as well, which is an awkward conversation to have. I'm not sure if this is a sunroof or just a moonroof. So that being said, again, you got this wire, you got the connector, water, nice, and you got water on the dash, but no big deal compared to having a different chemical there. As I cut it out, this is the glass that when we cut it out, you guys can see right here how far the double-sided tape is. We did pop off a portion of the clip on the side because I could not get in there without, I did not want to risk the headliner. So a piece of where that thick wire did pop off as we were cutting behind it. I'm not sure how. That being said, there is some information here for I guess the glass. I'm not sure what the expire date really means, LLP. I'm not sure what that all is. But as you can see, there's the urethane line. See how deep that corner is? A cold knife would not be able to get really in there. You could get to there. As I cut out, Saint Gobain notorious for me that it will start to pop on me on the sides as I was cutting. You can see the cracks. If you're cold knifing, it makes it a lot worse of a mess. String is thin, and it still gave me that issue with string. You got double-sided tape there, but that's because of the molding, the underlay molding, which the new glass does already have. That being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead, oh, here's the connector. The 3 connectors are actually on the glass themselves. I'm gonna go ahead and prep the glass and then go ahead and set it, and we're gonna go backwards and put it all back together and finish from there on, guys. All right, guys, let me see. All right, guys, we are back. We're gonna go ahead and just put see if we can we have about 13% battery left on the GoPro. We're gonna go ahead and just do the portion where we record how to put this all back together and then go from there. First off, we're gonna start off with the little circuit board. Don't worry, I am watching the battery to make sure we are going in. So as always, as last time, this one doesn't have a little foam setting block, but it'll be fine. You're gonna slide it in there. I think this is the one model that actually has the setting block in there. I don't recall, I've done a lot of these. Some of them don't have it, some of them do have it. We're gonna go ahead and grab one of these screws because luckily this is magnetic, but be very careful, guys. All right, let's see. And then we go from there. All right. And now we're gonna go ahead and just do one screw at a time. I don't think we're in that hole at all, so we're gonna try and remove that one. Actually, no, we made it in there. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna do the other one. I'm not tightening them, I'm snugging them, guys. I got him cleaning the glass because while we set this, because again, we also gotta head back to the shop still. We're gonna go ahead and get this portion in there. Okay, nice and snug, not too tight, snug. It is a circuit board. So there you go. We're nice and tight, no vibrations, no play in there, which is good. Now we're gonna work backwards. We're gonna go with this portion, the big circuit board, which we took off first. Again, this was the portion that went inside to the side first, and then locks in there from there with now we're gonna put one of the torque 10s back on it. All right, we're back, guys. Again, for those who got, we actually got cut off there for a second, but I went ahead and just put on this circuit board, went in from the side, we tightened that back in. Now we're gonna put the little bracket holder back on the side. Again, I'm not sure what the actual name of some of this stuff is, but we're gonna push it back in here. I assume this one goes right there. If I remember, that one goes right there, so we're gonna put it back. The reason why I don't think it goes there is because I feel as if it's just there would be no room to put it like right there. I feel like we're stretching it out too much. So process of elimination, we're gonna go right here. Again, we've done a lot since we've taken off a lot of things since then, but it's fine. I'm gonna hold it there for a second. We're gonna, alright, get it again snug. This is not a mechanical suspension part, nice and snug. There we go. We got that all nice in there. Now the next portion we have all that in there. We're gonna go ahead and put the metal bracket back on. Alrighty. And now that we have the bracket back on there, we're gonna continue from there. I'm gonna set these back here, that way I'm not playing tag with them. All right, we're gonna go ahead and at least put one. All right, again, you have a total of 4 holding on this metal portion, guys. So do not forget. I'm snugging. I'm actually not going completely snug on. I am going to go back and just to check to make sure they're nice and tight. You got 2 toward the edge of it, and now we're going to have 2 toward the middle, which I did not show you guys, but I will in a second. So you had 2 here on the sides, and then you have 2 here in the center. I don't know if you guys can see right there and right there. Let me make sure the camera's set right. So you're going to have 2 there. I think those are the last 2 for that before we put on the other cover. Actually, I think we might have messed up. I think we were supposed to put on the, no, I think we put on the, we'll figure it out in a second. We gotta take it back off, it's fine. Again, I was rushing because the battery, these GoPro batteries die so quickly. I'm gonna tighten one, snug. Tighten the next one. There's 2, nice and snug, guys. Not too tight, not too loose. My bad. There we go. There's that, there's that. Now comes the board. Get a little here where the camera angles itself. And then we'll go from there. Again, we did not mess with any of the alignment here. So theoretically, recalibration wise, we should be good to go. We should not need a recal for this. I'm not sure if the standard recal does apply for this either. It'd be nice to know if this does work with our standard dynamic recalibration, or if it would be a static, or maybe Elon comes up with a new word, which would be pretty cool, that has a different name of recalibration. It'd be called omega calibration. For Teslas, we call them omega calibrations. All right, let's put in this last one, and we should be good to go from there on. All right, now that we have the whole bracket on there, make sure we connect these little boards back in here. We're connected. This was the only wire, of course, that we disconnected from this whole circuitry. We did not disconnect anything else. I like to make sure I didn't leave a stain, but I think that's on the, no, that's on the inside. We'll go back and wipe that off in a second. We got some nice cleaners to go with here. All right, rearview mirror. This portion can get a little annoying. We're gonna stick it through this connector, which I believe was where it was at. I think it was in between them both. Not really sure. I think that's just for the rearview mirror. This little portion here that goes clips onto it. So I already messed up. I realized it right when I did it. We're gonna have to go backwards and go, I think it's to catch it so it doesn't fall on itself. So then we're gonna go back and there we go. This portion will go in. Again, guys, it has 4 clips that go into it. The new glass will have these metal tabs, so if yours fall off, which sometimes they do not sweat it. Again, we're gonna kind of just squeeze it into the headliner. If you wanna pop it down a little bit, pop the headline down, give you a little bit of leverage. Don't be afraid to. Just make sure you guide in there. There we go. We're gonna go up, 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 and up. There we go. We are in there. When you press up on the glass, make sure you don't go up too high a little bit. Again, this is fresh urethane. You want to make sure you're okay with it. See a little bit of dirt right there. We have to go back and clean. All right. Now we're gonna. This is a twist-on rearview mirror, as I said before. So what we're gonna do is twist it on, which probably would have been better before I put the rearview mirror, before I put the cover back on. There we go. Now the rearview mirror is back on. Line it up to the headrest. Place your head, especially if you're a little taller. All right. We are going to go back and clean that as well. Now what we're going to do is, the sun is blinding me. We're going to go ahead and clip on from the front and push on from the back. And there we go. And guys, you have put back together the all the circuitry there for the Tesla camera. We're going to go ahead and look at it from the outside. I will be putting back the cowl back as well in a second, but I don't think we're going to record that portion of it. We're going to go ahead and I think we have to pop back open the hood again. Again, once you pop down the hood, it does kind of lock itself into secondary there. All right, now we're just gonna connect this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna record the whole portion of this, guys. So I might just go ahead and just show you guys just the connection portion of this and go from there. There we go. Now that we have it connected, we're gonna go ahead and put all this back together. We're not gonna finish off the video there, guys, because we are on the second battery. I'm trying to keep this video underneath 1 hour. Pretty straightforward job. If I have to give it between level 1 through 5 of complexity, I'd probably just give it like a 3.5 maybe. There's cars out there that are a little more complicated when it comes to the windshield than this one. Pretty straightforward. It's just about memorizing the camera and about memorizing where everything went. I'm gonna set this here for 1 second so it doesn't lock itself. And if you guys can look at the camera does look pretty straightforward. Again, computer numbers will tell it if it's more accurate than I am, but I try to do my best to line it up to the van as well and get a nice little in depth there as well. So other than that, guys, make sure you guys like and share the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.